How was the startup competition?
It's been really exciting, very exciting. You know, we started in September. We opened the applications. We had over 500 companies apply from just about every continent, every kind of industry. We selected 16 to be here. Tuesday, they did their presentations, and today we get to show the top 3.
Oh, that sounds great. Do you want to announce them now?
We can do. Why don't we just we'll bring them out in alphabetical order. There are our 3 finalists.
All right. I should probably let you drive.
You think so?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, so we had 16 companies plus 1 from the startup bus that presented on Tuesday. Each company gave a 6-minute pitch. They spent 5 minutes in front of our judges answering their questions. The judges tallied their points, and these next 3 companies that you will see are our 3 finalists. Today they'll present again for 6 minutes, then they'll go under the questioning of our esteemed judges, and then we'll have some deliberation before we come up with our final winner. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the first of our finalists. Please welcome BeBound.
Hi, everybody.
When they're out of their own country for vacation or work, 92% of smartphone users turn off their 3G and their data roaming to save costs. Chances are, though, they might not have found anything anyway. Only 14% of the planet is covered by Wi-Fi and 3G. What a shame! A smartphone would be even more useful in New York or in Bali than for running your errands at home. What's the solution? Stay connected to the internet without 3G, without data roaming, anytime, anywhere, for next to nothing, with BeBound. So what is BeBound?
Well, BeBound is a unique smartphone application that grants you access to the internet without 3G, Edge, GPRS, nor Wi-Fi. Instead, we use 2G networks. Those networks that cover 86% of the planet and that allow you to give a call or send an SMS everywhere. Consequently, anywhere in the world with BeBound from now on, if you can give a call, you can stay connected. BeBound is very straightforward. Our system consists in a platform in the cloud, and we use SMS as a transport layer. As a result, it is highly affordable. Our business model is based on prepaid credit that we call B-Miles. Why prepaid? Well, because we want BeBound to be surprise-free and to allow the traveler to manage his own usage. Checking your emails, search the web, you name it, it will cost you 1 SMS and 1 to 3 B-Miles. Every time you send a request to the server, you pay an SMS to your network operator. The reply that flies back from the server to your phone is where the B-Mile is used. We also have revenues from advertising and couponing later on. Well, considering our primary market, did you know that a billion people travel abroad every year, and that already 55% of these people own a smartphone? Our beta version that we launched in 2 weeks runs on Android. And this represents already a potential market of 300 million people. Well, this is a huge business, and our objective is to reach 3.2% of this business within the next 3 years, with an average revenue per user of 4.5 euro per year. Yazid, my partner, and I, we've been growing business for the past 25 years, and if everything goes right, we should be able to multiply these figures by 5. Last but not least, our business is cash generating, and we hope to achieve break-even within the next 3 years. So enough with the figures. Now let's send an email. Let's go to the application and the demo. Yazid? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the application itself. Here, I've got my smartphone. It's an Android. And I'm going to switch off 3G here, as you can see. So I've got no data anymore. So if I go onto the internet, there's nothing happening. I'm going to call bbound here. As you can see, here with the menu, bbound is a meta application with a lot of applications we have developed, like weather forecast, email, and so on, Twitter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send an email to Yazid. So let's go to email. Here, the mailbox. And as you can see, some emails I've got attachment. We cannot read them from bbound, but I'm going to send them to Yazid. So I'm going to click on this one. And here, I'm going to type his email. Say OK to Yazid, and I send it. This should take almost 20 to 25 seconds. Yazid, when you get the email, please tell us. Yazid is on 3G, or I think it's in Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
And is it coming?
Yes, it's coming.
Yes, it's coming. Good. So you've got the email. Now, look. Now it's going to be really amazing. I cannot read the attachment. But I could send him an email with attachment, and yes, it showed the attachment. Well, the Wi-Fi is slow here. Huh?
Yeah.
You're on 3G.
It switched on 3G and...
OK. I'm sorry that the Wi-Fi doesn't work as well as our system.
Yes.
You know, that's why it's useful, huh?
Can you send it again?
OK, I'm going to send it again, and hopefully it's going to go through. Time is running. No, I've got 9 seconds left, so I cannot send it again. Sorry that the Wi-Fi doesn't work so well, guys. Thank you very much.
So now we open up this demonstration to the questions of our judges. So please, if you've got a question, let's jump right in.
Sure. I mean, really interesting. Thank you. But I guess the one question is, companies like Facebook. So if we think of what Facebook is doing in countries like Africa, as I understand it, is they're offering data free of charge, pretty much.
Well, clearly, there's a huge potential for our application in emerging countries. That's going to take time. Facebook did it, but you got other companies who have already been to Africa. And if they only have a 2G network, with us, they also have the access to the internet. So yes, that's complementary, and we can offer a lot to these guys.
Well, it's complementary, but it's also, sorry, there's also there's a clear conflict, because you're playing on the arbitrage of expensive 3G data. If I'm in an emerging market and Facebook's giving me free data, if I'm using Facebook, then all my messaging and lots of my usage, I don't need a 2G solution.
Well, except that in most emerging markets, you have only 2G. I mean, you know, you got 5 billion subscriptions with only 2G networks in the world, for only one with 3G. So apart from the cost, the fact is you've got 5 billion people on the planet who get access to just next to nothing.
OK, I probably expressed it badly. They're probably also offering free for 2G as well, right?
Well, it can be very cheap. Well, if a network operator takes our solution, he can give access to Africans, for instance, for $1 per month, unlimited. Today, they spend $5 per month for their phone. So $1 is really affordable even for them. And then they've got access to the whole of the internet, which means to knowledge.
We have a judge here shaking his head. Do you have a
I'm still trying to understand how it works.
Ask a question.
So because I try to understand if you can receive full email on your smartphone by SMS in 2G, and you read it by SMS.
Yes.
So
yes,
how many SMS to read the web page?
Well, it depends on the length of your email.
So the MS...
It's going to be between 1 and 3. Well, except if you've got 200 pages SMS that you receive, I would not recommend that you do it, but you can...
Okay, so it's for short emails and without any attachments.
Even the long, I'm sorry, even the long, because you can decide for yourself how many pages you want. I mean, that's your choice.
Okay, so that's a new future for SMS.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And
Well-
Minitel, you have an idea? No, that's the joke, that's the joke.
Can you surf on the actual Ethernet through your solution?
No, we can't surf, okay? That's going to web page, it's made a lot of blocks, and it's extremely difficult to do, so we can't surf. You can search the internet for hotel information, but you can't surf, okay? So it has to be a little bit downgrade compared to the internet, otherwise it would be as expensive, as high in bandwidth, and so on.
What do you mean searching the internet?
Well,
if I cannot
searching,
surf after?
you can type name of a hotel, or you search for a hotel, and the name of a city is going to list, like when you search the internet, you got a Google page, you're going to receive that with all the information. But actually going to a web page, and no, that you can't.
So to understand well, let's say I go for a weekend in New York. I want to access my emails.
Yes.
What's the cost?
Well, let's say, I had the example before. Let's say that you receive 100 email, okay? The cost for receiving and reading the 100 email, assuming that every email is going to cost 2 B-miles, okay? So it's going to be equivalent to SMS, just as an example. The calculation shows that it's going to cost you almost 11 euros. If you do the same thing for your 100 emails, when you come to GFK and you put your 3G, you already spend $50. Okay, so that's at least 5 times cheaper.
Do we have another question?
So, if I understand well, there are like two markets, right? One is where you have the 3G, you can have the 3G, but it's expensive, and one where you cannot have it, so you're happy to use your emails on 2G, right?
Yeah.
So I understand the second one. I'm not sure it's such a big market, actually. I mean, in terms of capacity of spending. But about the first one, isn't it going to be solved at some point that, you know, to have these stupid prices where you pay $50 for reading your emails? I mean, it's really a pain today, so I understand it's interesting to solve it. But I feel that at some point, if you really solve it, the operators will fix it. Which is good, so if you can help push them fix it, we're very happy. But I'm not sure you can build a very long-term business on this very strange thing.
Well, that's a very good question. For the first point you mentioned, as I said it previously, there's only 1 billion people who've got access to 3G worldwide. And that's not going to spread very quickly.
Yeah, but okay, sorry, but your system is to replace when you usually have 3G, when you're in an area where you don't have 2G, when you only have 2G. So that's...
And yeah.
So I mean, the people who live all the time in an area where they have 2G, I don't think they use smartphones, because only reading small lines of emails without the attachments is...
Not only because, as you as a businessman, you travel abroad, probably in many, many countries, and I would be extremely surprised, because I travel a lot as well, that you've got a good connection everywhere. I've been to Asia, I've been to Latin America, and sometimes it takes 20 minutes to get an email.
So I'm part of the 1 billion, not the 5 billion.
Yeah, and concerning 3G, of course they're going to decrease the prices, but all data is going to be decreased, and as I said, in the end, we're going to have a lot of revenue through advertising and couponing, and hopefully one day we won't even have to pay for the B-miles. But that's not today, huh? That might be in the future.
Unless you've got a really fast question and a really fast answer, we'll get it in 20 seconds. Go.
How hard is the technology? Are you building a technology barrier, or is this a concept or a technology play?
Well, it took us 2 years and a half, a lot of swearing and a lot of blood to come there. So that's not that easy, okay? And making just the beta version be working for LeWeb, thank you everyone, we're so happy to be there, was, wow, we've been suffering.
Okay. So let's again congratulate BeBound as one of our 3 finalists.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Our second finalist is working in the world of big data, and so I'd invite you to congratulate our second of the top 3 finalists, Qunb. Qunb? Bye.
Hi everyone. Hi judges. It's very exciting to be here. I'm Cyril, I'm 40, and I'm going to tell you the story of a pivot. This is me, when I was a consultant. I was struggling to find numerical information for my clients, like market volume or GDP. And this is you as well, you media, or you entrepreneurs, when building your business plan. In fact, this is almost anyone. Why the hell is it so complex to look to search numbers? Because search engines are not meant for numbers. and because numbers still miss their platform. So we did it, and so QNB was born. The vision was satanic. Let's grab thousands of sources, trillions of rows, big data, really, and put that for you into one single search bar. And let's build a product so cool that you could not only find numerical information, but also visualize it, compare it with other sources, and use it offline or online. And iTunes for numbers, which would disrupt the distribution models of data-centric industries like market research, $73 billion. The idea was cool, wasn't it? So at least we were invited to join the French accelerator, Qunb, and we raised money from angel investors, and we started hiring the most talented big data and product folks ever. And we launched our first version, and we failed. Why the hell? Well, this was a one-on-one mistake. We were facing the chicken and egg problem. Our value proposition will be great in 3 years from now. Not now. We don't have enough data yet, so we can't have any traction yet, and vice versa. So, what should we have done? Well, we were looking at the wrong direction. Instead of targeting people who need data, let's concentrate on a problem we can solve right away, helping people with data to put it to use. And so we did our revolution. We are French, aren't we? So we reused the amazing tech we had, and we started looking at the plain old YouTube. How did they start their platform? Their tagline was not find videos, but broadcast yourself. And so starting today, Qunb is the same. People with data can now standardize and broadcast their data on our platform. But let's jump into a demo, right? So I have data, and I want to make use out of it. I upload it. It's as easy as copy and paste. Here, the data is my daily walking statistics with my Fitbit device, okay? And I start, okay, typing metadata, or I could use the API if I have larger volume. So now, the data is live on the website. And my genius AI is driving me through data visualizations. All of them are smart, simple, and interactive. And I can check the correlations between each of these charts and a world of existing data on the platform. What do you want to do? Sky is the limit. So here, I want to check if my walking statistics is correlated with the weather. I just drop the temperature on the chart, and wow, it's correlated. I have to do more exercise in winter. OK, now, what's the point? We understand semantically your data. Whether you put 2012, Spain, pizza, or LeWeb, your data becomes comparable with any other data defined on the same items. And let's replace Fitbit data with business data, and you get business insights in seconds. So now you started wondering, who are our customers? Well, first, we went B2B. On one hand, we go for data providers, firms who sell data. And we help them not only to put their data online, but on steroids, starting with 3 big names, and more to come. Then, on the other hand, we go for large corporations who are willing to understand their data and compare it with external data, starting with 2 big names, and more to come. For this, we are very proud. We are now endorsed by SAP. Our product is featured on their marketplace. Major boost for our B2B marketing effort. Well, now, we found a way to bootstrap this data ecosystem, with the first large corporations starting consuming data from the first data providers. But something is still missing here, right? Your data is missing. Because you have data. You have tons of them. Quantified self data, Internet of Things data, business or hobby-related data, Excel sheets lying on your hard disk. And they're waiting to come to life, to become useful for you or for others, to become visualized and mashed up with others. So now, on Qunb, start broadcasting your data. Make them visual and interactive. Make them useful for you and for others. And keep them private or share them with the world. So now, there's one thing that matters most for us, your feedback. We need your input to bring the product to the next level and to build this data ecosystem. So please, any one of you who has data, ping us. Thank you.
So it's big questions for big data. Why don't you go right ahead?
So what do you exactly do with the data? Sorry, maybe I'm a bit slow, but I understand we give you data and you make curves, but then what exactly do you do?
You can build charts on the platform. You can create charts that will automatically correlate different sources that are heterogeneous and that will, come into consistent charts seamlessly. So you don't have to carry about the way to crunch data and so on. We do the dirty job for you, actually. We help you build charts that you can use online or offline and to create insights.
It's a little bit like the graph functionality of Excel, or?
It's, yeah, all of us, we can use Excel. But in fact, only 1% of the Excel user can build a chart with Excel. The 99% remaining, they're blind. And they have to actually use a slave, as I was before, in my consultant life, to actually make sense out of data. And this is a way, actually, to disrupt the service industry by letting people access information directly at their source.
I guess as a follow-up, are you finding that these incentives are enough reasons for people to want to load their data? So are you finding, that's going to be the challenge, right? Is just to get enough people wanting to give you data.
Yeah.
And a beautiful user eye, extrapolations and correlations with other things. I understand, it's very interesting. I'm just wondering whether, again, there's this dichotomy between very simple users and something quite sophisticated that you're doing.
Yeah.
And do these simple users want what you've got?
So is it a question?
Are the users...
who are the users?
Well, not the users. No, not who are the users. Are people encouraged enough and excited enough to give you their data? Do they see that effort to give you their data, that you're giving them enough of a reward?
OK, our user, I'm not sure to have your question, sorry, but actually, we call ourselves an analytics for dummies. We want people who have data to actually come with information out of that data. So our user is a guy who's not an Excel fan. Our user is a guy who wants to use his data and to broadcast it, actually, and to make it useful to others. Corporations who actually sell data can enrich the data they sell by letting their user compare their data with other data. Let's take an example. Qunb, they sell ad intelligence data. With the tool, if they sell data but they ad in the automotive industry, their user can now compare ad business data with car registration statistics and so on. And that makes sense to them. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I absolutely don't understand who's broadcasting what. YouTube, you do a jump in the nature or you swim in the vacation, whatever, you broadcast your video, right?
Yeah.
Vacation. I see who's broadcasting and who's watching.
Yeah.
In your case, who broadcasts what?
First, corporations who sell data and who want to make this data available by the piece.
So it's a B2B business, not a
It's
B2C.
B2B
neither C2C.
first, and we go B2B first, right? And we also open the feature to B2C, okay, for people who have data like the people who have a weather station in their backyard and who want to broadcast their weather observation. They can put the data on the website and show that Météo France, for instance, is locally false in their area. Okay. That's one of the points. Or if you have a point of view or a specific expertise in one specific area, you can actually broadcast your data to the platform and let other people play with your data and compare it with other sources.
So what's the difference with Wolfram Alpha?
Actually, Wolfram Alpha is not open. You cannot put your data on Wolfram Alpha. It's only based on public data, and we also use the platform for you to access premium data, like market research information, for instance. So we want this, for instance, this industry market research to become accessible to small entrepreneurs who cannot afford to buy 5,000 reports and who would actually be eager to buy the page 27 of that report and the specific chart on that page. So that's it.
How do you make money?
We get money actually by sharing revenue and data sales on the platform, and we get money also from licensing the technology to B2B clients. For instance, Kantar Media, it will be a SaaS, software as a service model, or Banque de France as well. And we'll start in a few months when we have feedback from you on the B2C side, on this broadcast your data side. We want to open some premium features to let you, for instance, have your own group of data users who will share confidentially statistics among them and so on, or data among them.
How wide is your, because you've spoken about a lot of things and lots of users, use cases, but do you market this by sectors? Do you sort of go and say, look, I really want quantified self, or I really want advertising data, or do you think the platform will just grow in ways you don't know? I mean,
actually, we'd like the major use of the tool to be focused on business. We think there's a lot of data that is actually unused on hard disks and so on, and we think most people could actually even sell their own data as an individual on the platform, as on eBay, for instance, or we think people could actually come up with a specific brand on their domain because they have an expertise and they have built the best forecast on their industry for 6 months, so they should be listened or followed by other people. So we think it's mainly a business use, actually. Does that make sense?
I think if you've got a very fast question, we can get a very fast answer. We'll squeeze one more in.
How would you ask me to share my data? Because data are very important. The special one, nobody wants to share them.
Yeah.
The one on your market and the one you know, you don't want to share them. So why would I ask someone in marketing to use your product?
So give us a very fast answer.
Because, for instance, some companies today start having open data approach and start broadcasting their data, even if it's not their business, it should become a side business sometime. For instance, SNCF is thinking about opening part of their data, and the platform would be a distribution channel for them.
Great. That is
Who
all
cares
the time.
the data of SNCF?
Actually, people do. If you want to build some applications, for instance, for mobility, you can have pretty good use of that kind of data.
All right. That is the time for our questions. Thank you very much for your demonstration, and congratulations again to Qunb. And now our third finalist, I invite you to welcome to the stage, Recommend.
Hi. What is really missing on the internet when you're looking for something? Recommendations from people you trust. Word of mouth has been the oldest and greatest advertising tool, and yet has remained 99% offline. We use recommendations for everything every day, not only hotels, restaurants, or books, also for wines, doctors, or babysitters. Basically, the problem I have, and I wish I could finally solve, is that I had, of course, here, all recommendations from people I trust in one place, that I could save time by getting directly to these informations, and that I have everything in my hands. This is actually the problem of a lot of people, I figured out. We have too many informations, too much over the internet, too many over the social networks, and we get less directly to this information. So we go always asking our friends directly because we can't find the right information. So this is why I created Recommend. I'm going to explain to you how we fix that problem. First thing, we made it very easy, as you can see in this example, just to do a recommendation. You can just choose, for instance, here, I want to recommend LeWeb because I think that's one of the best conference. So I pick up conference and startup, and I do a recommendation with a little bit of text. I can put a picture, and I can very easily just save it for myself or share it over the internet through my Facebook friends or Twitter. The archive, let's say, to be able to retrieve your own recommendations and to have one place where you can just save your experience is one of the things you can actually do with no real tool. The second thing we have focused on is social reward. The problem we have when we do a recommendation to somebody is the frustration that you will never get any feedback. So basically, for instance, if I browse here through my recommendation feed, and I think this is a nice recommendation about a restaurant, I can just ping here, it's relevant, and my friend here gets a relevant point, and I can also add a comment and say it's very nice. And that's particularly important because this frustration, if you do a recommendation now and 6 months from now somebody uses your recommendation, there is a big chance they will forget that it was you, and so this is a way to keep this social reward. The third thing where we focused on is that you need to have very quick access to the information. And it's basically, sorry, it's browsed about, this doesn't work well. Okay, sorry. Here I'm browsing through a few topics. For instance, I'm interested in clubbing, so I have all the recommendations about clubbing. Or I'm interested in wines, so I just have the recommendations about wine. Of course, what we're developing now, this is the beta, you will be able to go through text search and through other filters. You will be able to look just geolocalized around you, the recommendations which have been made. And it's not necessarily a problem of if they have been made a long time ago. And if they are more relevant by your network, they're going to be pushed higher in the feed. So then you will tell me, there's been already a lot of things which have been tried about recommendations and social networks. So what is so different with recommend? Well, basically everything you had seen until now was web-based, crowdsourced, and basically more vertical. So recommendations just for one or a few things. So one thing I recommend is only recommendations. So it's only useful stuff, so it's not mixed with anything else, and at least you get quality. It's quality versus quantity. The second thing is it's only your friends, and to get sparsity, it's friends of friends. That means that if you have just 20 trusted contacts in recommend, and in the average, people have just 50 recommendations after 6 months, you already have 10,000 recommendations you can browse through. The third thing is all types of recommendations. And why is that? It's at least that in one place you can finally have everything and not just going to 25 different mobile apps. So the topics is that you can choose anything depending on your interests, and your favorite interests go up as well in your feed. So why we will succeed is because we made it very simple and user-friendly. Here, if I browse a little bit through my feed, it's just very easy to go directly to what's interesting for me. The smile, I can, for instance, choose places around me. I can also choose a place somewhere else. Of course, you have all the Google Maps feed here. The smileys are very important as well. As you can see, there are only 4 smileys, so it's very straight to the point, very simple to understand. If I put it's excellent, I know the people who trust me, they know exactly what I mean. The second thing is we made it viral. So in this example here, for instance, you have, I do the recommendation about LeWeb on the left. My friend on the right gets a Facebook post. And if he just clicks on the post, he arrives on a recommend post. And iPhone tells him you can download the application. I think it's viral by essence, of course, so I have to go a little bit faster. Sticky, it's because it's every day, and we made it addictive with notifications. So last but not least, it's useful information only from people you trust, based on your favorite topics. Who doesn't want that?
I'm going to recommend now that we go to our judges' questions, since we have out of time for the demo.
Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. Let's start.
Just have one question. As long as I understand what you said, is I can rate tons of topics, wines, cheese, everything, nightclubs, restaurants. So it's 100,000 of things could be rated.
We have right now chosen and really defined very well 80 topics. There's probably going to be more, but you have to use the topics which are inside. Basically, they cover about 90% of most of what interests people.
So let's take an example in France with cheese, just
Yes.
for example. So we have 400 cheese, different cheese. So if I want to have a relevant rating of each cheese,
Yes.
coming from my friends, each of my friends have to rate 10 cheese, because I only have 40 friends.
Well, there's a few things about that. The first is you better want to have 1 or 2 recommendations of one of the people of your network about this cheese, or 50 about people you don't know. You want to have the ones of your friends. Then, like I said, it's friends of friends. And as I took the example, you arrive very quickly to a lot of recommendations through that. If you have, in my example of before, just 10 friends, and in the average 50 recommendations, that's 5,000 recommendations. And the third thing how I answer that question is that the difference with other social networks is that everything is archived and it's kept, so the whole thing is going up. And most of the time, a recommendation which we will do today will still be useful in 1 year from now. So the whole database is growing, which is very different to other social networks where you don't use the data anymore. Everything is accessible very quickly through a search, of course.
So one thing I'm going to recommend is that you move this way from the edge of the stage, because you're making me nervous there. And let's take your question.
Yeah, do you solicit? Do you ask your friends about recommendations, or is it just people recommending stuff and then you can search within that?
We have planned the ask button. We have started beta. Just you can do recommendations, and we will add on the recommendation button an ask button, and it will go the same way. If you get answers from people who don't have recommend, you will be able to transform that response into a recommendation, and you keep it in the same logic of having finally the memory of the recommendations. Yes, it's planned.
Go ahead.
Cool. What's the difference between people I don't know and the friends of my friends that I actually don't know either?
The difference is, if, for instance, you trust somebody about wine, there's a good chance you will trust as well, and the feed of the guy he trusts about wine are interesting for you. And if not, you can choose to put them away for some of the stuff. The second answer for that is you will have experts, because what people want, the only thing, the little part missing is, okay, I want to have experts. So with the relevance button, if you have a lot of relevance points on a topic, we will suggest you can have followers. And then somebody likes wine, for instance, you will see, okay, the 10 top of the lists, they agreed to have followers, you can follow these guys. So you will get basically more quality and exactly the way you want. And when you do a recommendation because you're an expert in the domain, you can choose if it's just for your close network, the second step, or followers.
So you are a universal Zagat for every subject.
Zagat for me is more, it's only experts. And then you have...
No? Zagat is everyone going to restaurants saying, I like it, I don't like it, I eat that, you should go.
Okay, say Zagat as it was before. Zagat is crowdsourcing. It's like Foursquare, it's like TripAdvisor. It's basically people I don't know. I don't want to browse through 800 reviews from people I don't know. I'm much more interested about having just 3 reviews about the people I know. If I want to find a nice restaurant in Paris, I have here already just in 3 days 30 recommendations of my friends. I can tell you last evening, the first thing I checked was the recommendations of my friends, not anymore any internet stuff.
And how do you make money? You didn't tell us the business model.
I think it's the best and most efficient business model you can have. Basically, it's the graal of social monetization. This is what everybody is trying to do, including Google and at some point Facebook. If you have already the prescription of your friend for a product and you put there the lead towards the merchant, it's going to be the best transformation rate. So basically, to make it more factual, if I'm looking for a hotel in Paris and I have a recommendation about this hotel about my friend, you will have a button directly there to book the hotel in the merchant. And I even think we will build in, because this is now getting better and better on mobile, some of the things you will even be able to buy them directly from the site.
So you get money for from the hotel or from the restaurant that was recommended.
Lead generation, exactly like Google, very well targeted on the recommendations.
So you need to be connected to all those places that have been recommended. So you need to develop a commercial team.
Not necessarily, because right now you have, with the Régie publicitaire and stuff, you have a lot, and you have much more softwares which target very well. This is much better than before. It's one of the reasons why the timing is good, because if you start this 2 or 3 years ago, besides there's not enough people on mobile, you will not have these tools.
So if you come to Paris,
yes,
and people tell you the best hotel should be the coast, for example, because it's fun, it's open, and so on, everyone that's going to the coast with this application, then you go and see the cost and say to the owners, you have to give me back 5%. You say that's your model.
Basically, when you click on a link like this on Google, it's 10 cents or 10 euros, depending on what is recommended. My point is I will have a better transformation rate, and that means the merchant will pay more. The last thing I want to do here is we have already talked with some merchants about putting a recommend button directly on their site, which means they're trying to fill it social in their site, but they never get enough from the friends because they're verticals and people won't put any recommendations there. Since I have all of them, if you're, for instance, in Amazon and you're looking for buying this book, I will feed to this recommendation button exactly what was said about your network for this book. And then I'm sure Amazon gets a better transformation rate.
Great. That's all the time we have. I'm sorry you tried so hard to get your question in. You got to be more aggressive on this judging panel. Thank you very much. We're very happy to have you as one of our finalists. So there you have it. After 3 months of applications and pitching and preparation, our 3 finalists, Bbound, Qunb, and Recommend. And now it's up to the judges to join me backstage for some deliberation and determine how we rank those finalists.
And while they do this, please deliberate, judges. I noticed that it's the first time ever in the history of LeWeb that there are 3 French startups as finalists. Completely, you know, that it just happened. It's the first time, never happened before. And of course, we didn't decide that.